have to look at the camera?
No, you don't have to look at the camera. And we're live for this arcade beginner session. So this is a live stream from Seattle, Washington. My name is Peladello. I work at Microsoft on the MakeCode team, and we'll live streaming some lessons for all the kids who are stuck at home. And my assistant today is
Elliot.
Elliot's going to be driving the computer. We're going to be coding using the arcade editor. So what I encourage you all to do is to put this video in picture-in-picture, and the way you do that is right-click 2 times on your video and then select picture-in-picture in your context menu, and this will allow you to see the video and also see the code editor as we're doing the game. So make sure you open arcade.makecode.com. The link is in the YouTube video, and you're going to want to follow along and build your game with us. So don't just watch the video. Let's make sure you build it. We're going to be going through the first tutorial today of Arcade and kind of show you the basics. Arcade will work on Microsoft Edge, the latest Microsoft Edge, or Chrome, or Safari, or Firefox. So it'll work also on your phone or iPad. And that being said, let's do this. So Elliot is here in the Microsoft Edge browser, and we are on the website called arcade.makecode.com. And this is the home screen. And soon you'll see all your project, but if you scroll down the home screen, you'll see that there's you take over the mouse, Elliot. There's a bunch of tutorials that you can see. There's example games, block games, games written in JavaScript. There's games that people have written that you can see. So if you want to learn from what others people have done, you can go and do that. There's also kind of concepts, but let's scroll up and go into the first, scroll one down to Chase the Pizza, which is our first tutorial. This is a step-by-step tutorial to create a funny little game. So we're going to do that today, and then we'll customize it at the end to make it more interesting. All right, so let's move up the camera a bit. Okay. So if you look at the GIF or GIF, which side are you in? GIF. It's a cool game where you drive the smiley guy, the smiley little sprite, and you have to eat the pizza in less than 3 seconds, otherwise you die. And you kind of have to do that all the time. So let's do this. So like in all the other MakeCode tutorials, we've got instructions here on the top. And if you're confused about what code you need to do, there's a hint that you can get by clicking on the MakeCode icon. So you click on the hint, you'll get a hint about what the code you have to do, but it's a good exercise to try not to look at the hint. So Arcade is Arcade has a whopping 160 by 120 pixels and 16 colors, and
That's a lot.
And we can program it. So let's start the first step. Open the Scene Toolbox drawer and drag the Set Background Color block in the OnStart. And that will allow us to choose a background. So if you click on the gray box there, actually, I think we've done our step. Let's go to the next step. In the Set Background block, click on the gray color oval to open the color palette and set the background color. All right, so that seems simple enough. So again, this is a very restricted environment. The reason we do that is because we're going to run these games on super cool hardware, which I can show you here. These are examples of handheld console. This gives you an idea of how small these are. If I put a pen next to them, so it'll fit in your pocket. You've got here the Adafruit iGamer, and then also here the Meowbit. And these are games. You'll be able to run your games if you can access to these devices. All right. So, we done?
Yep.
Okay. Open the sprite toolbox drawer and drag the first block. Set my sprite onto the on start. This will create a player character for your game. All right, so we went to on sprite. We should go slower actually when we do that. So if you click on sprite, you see that the first block is creating a sprite. Now, what is a sprite?
It's like a player, pretty much.
It's kind of like a player.
Sometimes. It depends what you use it for.
Depends what you use it for. So this is going to be a player. Sprite is like a little moving thing in your game. It's similar to Scratch sprites. It's something we use a lot in games. If you're familiar with games, you've heard about sprites. Cool. So this is going to be a player sprite. And it is called my sprite. You can see it there. Okay, let's go to the next step. Draw your player character by clicking on this gray square. Draw. Okay. So if you click that, woo, sweet. So we've got a full. Oh, hold on. Let me move my video stream here so we can see all the buttons. There we go. We've got a full pixel art editor in MakeCode Arcade. It means you can use sprites like you want. So go ahead, Elliot, and just draw a sprite. So you can use the default color, but there's a whole toolbox of colors on the left. Different tools to fill, to draw lines, to draw circles. That's it. Oh, come on, let's do a belly maybe. You can use the circle tool. I think your little guy needs eyes or something.
Yeah.
Little legs.
Little legs.
Little legs. Little arms. Okay, so you can click done.
Kirby.
This is a pretty advanced tool, so yeah, there's a lot of features in there we won't be covering today. But when you're ready for your drawing, you can just click on the done button in the lower right there. There we go. Okay, you can see that now the preview has been updated and the virtual arcade just restarted and it's showing your little sprite. Now I think your legs are blue and you may want to change background.
Yeah, let's change that.
Ooh.
There we go.
All right, the green background. It's almost hard to see. How about we make it a bit bigger because on the video it's going to be hard to see so maybe let's go back to the drawing and do a bigger sprite. If you do it on your screen, it's probably fine, but for the stream, we're gonna make it larger. There we go. Give him some long arms. Maybe feet all the way down. Oh yeah, that's like very Minecraft-y almost.
Yeah. I'm just drawing.
All right. You click done. Okay, so we're gonna have an easier time seeing it. Oh, there we go. That's much better.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's see the next step. So, open the controller toolbox and drag the Move My Sprite with buttons. This will allow you to move your player sprite around the screen with arrow keys. Try it in the game simulator. So far the sprite is in the middle and it's not moving. Now we can talk about actually using the simulator. So Elliot, if you go in the simulator, you can actually, if you're in the touchscreen, you can use the pad there to move the person. But if you're on a keyboard, you can use the regular keys that you use in all the other games. So either the arrow keys. I can actually grab the camera here. Whoops. So we got the arrow keys or the regular AWSD. And space is going to be A. And I think enter is B. All right. So now this is the 80s. So this is meant to be played either on a keyboard or on a mouse. But something worth noting is that the screen is not touched. So if you go on top of the screen here, nothing will happen. You have to go on the gamepad. Another fun thing you can do is you can maximize the simulator. So click on this maximizer, and yeah, you can play full screen on your game. If you're on an iPad, you can use your thumb. So it's a quick way to kind of demo your game and have fun with that. And then you click on the exit full screen mode to go out of that. Okay, cool. All right. Let's take a look at. So Elliot, how about you do the next step, and I'm trying to see if we can have a bit less noise in the room.
So here we're gonna put another sprite. So this time it's not gonna be a player.
This will be the pizza of our game. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's double check with the hint that we're still on track. Yep, looks good. I think our drawing looks better than the smiley. All right. And actually, I'm gonna move the video stream here, so we're not in the way.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go next and see what we have to do. In the Set My Sprite 2, click on My Sprite 2 to open the menu and rename the variable to pizza. Now let's wait a little bit on that. And the reason we do that is we're going to have a number of variables for all our sprites, and it's really important to give them names so that you know who's who, really.
Yeah.
And I know it's very tempting to come up with your own names, but if you do that, you're going to be very confused by the tutorial. So I highly recommend you follow up the names we use in this tutorial, but in future games you can use the names you want. So let's call it pizza, and not whatever random name goes into your mind. And this is generally a good habit to have, to just pick some good names for your players and your sprites. Okay, and I think we're good. And if we check our hint, then we can make sure that, oh yeah, the hint shows us what to do. That's very helpful. Okay. In the Set Pizza, click on the player to choose the different kind, and select food as your pizza sprite kind. All right. So if you click on that, you can see that we have different kind of kinds or families of sprites. Yeah. Think about a game. You've got your player, you've got your enemies, the coins, the food. All of these kind of behave differently. So the pizza is going to be our food. So we're going to make it as a food. And this is a common mistake. Make sure whenever you do a sprite, you decide which kind it belongs to. Right. And I think we're good. Click on the glare box for Set Pizza and select the gallery view. All right, so let's go into the pixel editor. So the previous time we've drawn our drawing, but actually we've got a whole bunch of images that you can start from. So if you go into the gallery, these are all the images that MakeCode has built in, and you can choose a pizza or you can choose anything else. That's really up to you in this tutorial. I think we're going to go for something else. Let's spice it up. A ham. So that's the big ham. Let's take the small ham. And so the thing that it does, it actually copies the image inside of the editor, and then you can modify it. So let's maybe let's put some eyes and mouth on this ham so it looks more real. Looks like maybe a bit more. Maybe a 4x4 eye. And the mouth is kind of an evil ham. Always happy. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit rotten. It's got green on it. All right. So we've got our custom ham here, and we'll click OK and done. And now when the game restarts, we can see that the ham is on top of our player. We don't see it anymore, but that's okay. And again, if you check the link, the hint, you can make sure you've got it. You've got everything right in this step. So let's go into the hint and check. Yeah, I've done the gallery, I've done the pizza, looks good. Good to go. Open the sprites toolbar drawer and drag the on sprite overlaps other sprite block onto your workspace. So that's a huge block, and you may not have enough space to show it. So what I'm going to do is we can either zoom out, but also we can collapse. No, we can't collapse. But I think we still have some space. So how about we move the view up? And what you can do is you can basically drag the view from anywhere you want. So if you click in the middle of nowhere and you start and you move, you're going to move the whole view, right?
Yep.
So this is an event that happens when two sprites touch each other, and this is kind of something we do a lot in the games. So in this case, I'm going to place it anywhere, and then let's see what the next instruction is. In that block, what you want to do is change the second player to become food. So actually the hint might be useful because it might be a bit confusing. So okay, you want to go into the second drop down and you want to select food. And the reason we do that is this really means whenever you detect that a player is touching a food item, run some code.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's how we're going to build the logic of our game. When our player overlaps with the pizza, let's add a point to our game score. Okay, so game score is going to be inside of info. Let's go to info, and we're going to get change score by 1 and put it under in this event. So whenever the game engine is going to detect, ooh, something's going on in the game. Right, what you can see is, that's right, whenever they overlap, this code runs and we're getting points and points and points. And because this event runs many times a second, we're getting a lot of points.
Yeah.
So it's working. Cool. Now the next step is you want to position the pizza in random location on the screen. So we're going to grab a block from the sprites toolbar that lets us change the position of a sprite. So we're going to grab, so the first block is to create a sprite. The second block is to move the sprite. And we want to change pizza. I think if you look at the hint, it'll tell you. Oh, my sprite. Okay. We're going to talk about coordinates first, but let's do the next step. And I think you want to change the position of the pizza and not my sprite. So in the drop down, you want to select the pizza. All right. And now let's talk about, so do you notice that the pizza is now in the corner of the screen?
Yeah.
And that's a bit confusing. So the question is, what are the coordinates in the world?
That's Y, that's X.
That's Y, that's X, but it's, if you put, where should 0, 0 be? If you've done math, typically it's on the lower left corner.
Yeah, lower.
Yeah, but in video games, it's a bit different, and we start counting the Y's from the top left corner.
Oh,
so in most video
so
games,
a lot.
So that is
more.
That is 0, 0. And then that is down. In fact, if you click on the 0. Oh, maybe you want to scroll up the block. You see that it gives you help. So this lets you kind of figure out where the coordinates are. So if you go into the upper left corner, you're going towards 0, 0. And if you go to the lower right corner, you're going to go to 160, 120. So the X is kind of the way you expect it from left to right, but then the Y's, they start from the top and they go down. All right. So that's a bit confusing the first time you discovered that, and but we'll work a lot on that when we do our tutorial, so we should start learning it. Okay. Let's see the next step. Open the Math toolbar drawer and drag 2 pick random blocks onto the workspace. Drag 1 into the X of the set coordinate and 1 into the Y. So let's do that. 1 in the X and 1 in the Y. Now try actually going to overlap through, no, let's zoom in. Oh, it's getting too small. That's good enough. All right, yeah. Try going into, try moving your little player over to the, oh, see how the pizza is moving?
Ham.
It's not the ham, but it's not moving very far.
Yeah.
It's kind of stuck in that corner. Oh, why is that?
Yeah, I wonder why.
So what did we just do actually? What's this code doing?
It's picking a random number to place it in the X and Y coordinates. So, like right here, every time.
Because 10, 10 is like this small corner,
yeah.
Right?
Only
so probably we're going to fix that in the next steps because we want to kind of spread it around the whole screen. The arcade game is 160 wide and 120 high. So you want to, on the x-axis, you want to do something like 0 to
10 to 160. So it's
yeah.
on the screen.
Well, 10, yeah, so you want it to stay in the screen. So maybe 10 to 150. I think there's a mistake in the tutorial. If you put it beyond that, it'll be there, but you won't see it. And then what about the y coordinate? You want to go from 10 to something like
120, 110.
110. Running out of space. All right. Let's kind of move over it. Let's see if it works. Let's go in the game. Oh, cool. So it is.
It's moving.
It's moving, and it's going to a different location each time. So it's working. And also, it stays within the screen. It's never cut. So that's pretty good. And every time we get 1 more point. So we're making some pretty good progress on our game. All right. Let's do the next step.
155.
155?
Yeah, I think that would be possible.
Let's restart our countdown each time. Open the info drawer and drag a start countdown in the on-sprite overlaps block. All right. So you've eaten the pizza and now you get another 10 seconds. So oh, this timer, eat the pizza.
Oh no.
No. It's too easy.
Too easy.
Too easy. All right, probably going to change that. Let's go to the next step. Congratulations, you've made your game and you can eat the pizza. So this is the basic game, and I'm going to click on finish. And we'll show you something cool here. So when you finish a tutorial or game, you can actually share it and play it with your friends. And before you share it, you want maybe to take a screenshot, so that's the screenshot image. Or even better, you can click record and play the game. So hold on, go back to the game, press A, space. And recording. And then what it's going to do is I'm Okay, let's do a new one. Go play the game.
I can't.
And it's going to record a GIF, when sharing it. And now if you click on Publish Project, it's going to generate the game. So I'm going to take my phone out, and you see the QR code there. I'm just going to go ahead and scan it on the screen. Come on. All right. And I got the game here, and I'm going to show you on the phone when it's loaded. You can see that. Oh, there's too much light. Let's turn off the light. Actually, let's go to the demo area. You can see that the game now is running on my phone, and I can play the ham game on the phone. It's super cool. All right, so that's how you get the game on your phone, but there's even something better, which we're going to show right now. So Elliot, let's close this dialog. And let's talk about hardware. So one of the cool stuff about Arcade is that, no, you don't resize it because the video will not pick it up. Is that you can actually download your game in a phone, but also you can download it on hardware. And we're going to show you how to do that now. So go ahead and click download. And this is the list of supported handheld hardware that you can find. And a lot of them you can order online, or you can even build yourself. So from building a full arcade table from an IKEA table to actually build it from electronic components. But what we're going to do today is doing this one, which is the Meowbit. So click on the Meowbit after clicking download. And what the editor is going to do now, it's going to produce a file that you can put into the Meowbit machine. So once you get into that dialog, what you want to do is connect your Meowbit using the micro USB onto your computer. And then here what we're going to do is do right click on the green button, save link as. And if you connect, when you connect your Meowbit, what you'll see is that it goes into this called bootloader mode. You'll see there's an F4 turned on, and if it doesn't, there's a button here. There's a button here to kind of switch between the game that's installed and the game. So you need to have your screen that looks like that, and when it does, you will have a drive called Arcade F4 that shows up. So go ahead, Elliot, and
save.
No, make sure you're in the Arcade F4 drive. So click on that, and then you save. And as I'm saving, so what you're going to see is it's going to transfer the game, and hopefully I took an old Meowbit, so something is going on here. Let's try that with oh, there we go. Okay, so we're playing now the game on a tiny little device, and what's super cool is that once you have it connected, you can take it in your pocket and play all day long with this stuff. Okay, so that's how you get it into the hardware, and we'll show that more often. So if you're looking for these devices, you can find them. You can find them online, but you can also code all into your browser, and you don't need them. You can send them to your phone as well. All right, so Elliot.
Yeah.
The floor is yours. What do you want to do to this game? Let's go.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
Right now I'm lowering the countdown.
So yeah, so game's a bit easy, I guess. And we're going to make it harder by lowering the countdown. So that's pretty cool. What else can we do?
We can also do is set the speed.
All right, so if you look at the sprite, it's kind of moving at a certain speed. I think it's in the controller blocks. If you go back to the...
Or you can do that.
Oh, you can do that, yeah.
So.
No, you have to, I think you have to change the...
Yeah.
So go back to the code. And if you see the move, so what is the block that moves the sprite? You can click on it.
This one.
Yeah, click on it. Okay. So if you do plus, it tells you how fast it's going to go. So it's going to go 100 pixels per second. Remember, your screen is 160 pixels. So if you increase Vx or Vy, well, your sprite is going to start moving very fast. So how fast do you want to do it? Go.
Let's try 200.
200. And that's super fun because you can really tune the gameplay to what you want. And now it's super... It's getting hard without the gamepad to hit the thing. Oh, that's pretty cool.
And now it gets hard.
Now it gets super hard.
Now you can even do less time.
All right. Well, so we've made two customization of the game. Now we want to share with our friends so we can play on the phone. How do we do that? And it's gonna be the end of our stream. So if you want to share it again, what you go is you go to the share button here. Click on that. Make sure you get some cool screenshot. And there's actually, if you hover over the buttons, you'll see you can learn the shortcut to start the GIF recording. So that's really easy. Otherwise, you can't click and record. And click on public projects. And now you can either email the link to your phone, or you can use the QR code. And also, if you want, this button here, you can publish your game onto our forums, and we're more than happy to look at them. So this button here, the discourse button, will you're gonna have to sign in to get into our forum, but that's a way to share your game. Otherwise, you can send the link to your friends. They can play it on their phones. Okay, let's close this window. So we've learned we went through the first tutorial, we learned how to share a game in between everything, and also we modded it. And that's going to conclude our first stream in this arcade beginner stream. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, same channel. Make sure you subscribe, and see you tomorrow. Happy coding.